Making sure it says I'm live. I'm trying to fix this camera. Ugh. Trying. All right. Hop on. I'm going to share here really quick. I wanted to show you guys something. To me, it's cool. You guys might not think it's as cool, but I think it is. I'm going to go on here and share really quick. Wait for some people to hop on. When you hop on, hold on, I'm refreshing. I'm sending a text message to my son to go let the dogs in for me, please. And let's see. Say hi, say hi, say hi. Hi, Jackie. I know I created like an event in 10 minutes. There's an event, but I wanted to show you guys. This is cool. So if you hop on, say hi. If you can do me a favor, I would really appreciate it if you could share to any groups that allow it. I want to show you guys something cool. And then I'm trying to share here. Share, share, share. I think it should be fine. Hi, Linda. Hi, Sandra. Let's see. This is going to let me do my thing. It's so weird when I'm trying to. Oh, here comes the herd of the animals. So I have to share. So it was funny. I was sitting there thinking today because when I'm working at my 9 to 5 or my 7 to 4, whatever you want to call it. It's 7 to 4 for me. I always have my iPad on, and I was just sitting there thinking, like, I'm literally one of these people. I carry it around with me. Hi, Myra. I carry it around with me, and I always have to have something on in the background, even when I'm working. So I started thinking about, I wonder if everyone else is like me. So I just wanted to do something fun today. I got this really cool little gift from Skivos at Zem, and I wanted to share with you guys and let you know. I was like, well, I can't. I'm still trying to figure out a way to continue to do like the raffles, but I can't post a product on my website that's a raffle. Did it twice, and they were sending me emails like I was getting in trouble. So then I was like, well, I do have gift cards available, I guess, on my website. I guess we could try and do that. But then he sent me these today, and I was like, this is going to be a fun way to do a raffle. But I'm going to do it a little bit different because I am. That's what I'm going to do. So I think I've shared. But if you guys can share, I'm always really bad at reminding everyone. If you feel so inclined, please go like my page, Gammy's Happy Bees, and go sign up on the website, gammyshappybees.com. I have yet to send out any like new announcements or anything, but it's coming because there's a lot of really cool stuff coming. So first of all, to get started, it's funny because I have, I think with any business, orders come in waves, which is totally fine. I mean, absolutely fine by me. My lips are dry. Sorry, I have to put chapstick on. They actually joke around in meetings at work. Like, why are you always putting stuff on your lips when we're in a meeting? And I'm like, it's an all day, everyday thing. My lips is dry. So what was I saying? It was a long day. So traffic on the website comes in when there's a live or something that either Melaine does or somebody else does, and she talks about brushes or I talk about brushes or we talk about stencils. I'm like, but you're good. They ate. Okay. They ate. Yep. They ate. The herd came in. My daughter-in-law just got home, and she was doing this like, did the girls eat? And it's like, yeah, I had to make. Yeah, no, I'm good. And I'm live, so I'm not doing anything. We have one bathroom in this house with 5 people, so everyone comes and checks. Like, I'm gonna go shower. Are you good? I know, TMI, but it's fine. So anyway, so I've gotten a few orders in the past couple of days that are getting ready to go out, and I have the sale coming up. I have the new sets that are going to get posted. But I was just like, we're in the middle of the month. And so I decided that any orders that I've already gotten this month, or any orders that I get until the end of the month, so until the 31st, so until Halloween, because Skivo sent me some cool things. And it's not going to be new to you guys. It's not like these are brand new brushes. They're not. And Alexa's trying to talk to me. But this was really cool because I made such a big deal about how they're my favorites, and I put my own sets together. And so he did a thing. So he sent me some today. And so I decided there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6. There's 6 of these different sets that he sent today, which was a really nice surprise. I appreciated it. And so I decided that anyone who's purchased so far this month and until the 31st is going to get their name entered to get one of these sets. Doesn't matter if it's stencils, it doesn't matter if it's brushes, it doesn't matter if it's the brush cleaners, the brush scrubbers, or whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. Any purchases this month, you're going to get entered to get these. One of these. So I want to show you. So they're a little different. I got to move my keyboard without hitting buttons. Then I have to go make sure, because yesterday see, it's so funny. Is this me now? Yeah, it is me now. It's so funny how I'm not getting all of the comments. They're not coming through. Some are showing up on my personal profile, and some of them are not showing, and they're not showing up on StreamYard. So that's a little bit of a bummer. However, I guess we'll figure it out. So I'm gonna put this camera on really quick. So again, any purchase of brushes, stencils, brush clean, whatever. If you bought anything from me from October 1st and then through the 31st, you're gonna get your name entered to win one of these sets that I'm getting ready to show you. So I can't remove myself from the stage. Hi, Nancy. I can't remove myself from the stage because just so you guys can see these better, because then my microphone will go off, because I'm not as technical as you guys might think. Look what Zem did. Hold on, I got to do it this way. They put together Black Swirl sets. I've been bugging him since I started selling these, like, why don't you have sets of Black Swirls? So I was like, well, they're my favorites. That's why I put my master brush set together based on them. And so he's created sets. So he has Black Swirl filberts. And typically when they do their sets, they'll do the most popular sizes, or the most purchased sizes, right? So in this filbert, is this the filbert one? It has to be. Yeah. 2, 4, 6, and 8 is in his filbert set. I don't know what the prices are yet. He doesn't have them on the website. Like, he doesn't have the prices up yet, but he sent these to me. Let me know the prices are going to be up. So that's why any purchase from my website this month, you're going to get a chance to win one of these. So it's a set of 4 filberts. It is a set. This is like a combo set. So it's a 1/2-inch wash, a number 6 round, a number 6 filbert, a long liner number 1, and a flat number 4. So that's another set that he's put together. Get it up close. Then the angles, which these are all the angles. So it's a 1/8, a 1/4, a 3/8, and a 1/2. So all of the angles are in a set. And these will actually be up on the website in this configuration too, once he has all that information. Then, and they'll be in addition to the sets that I already have up, because I have the sets of like all of the brushes in the series, but maybe you don't want all those. So just so you know. So these are the rounds 0, 3, 5, and 8 of the rounds. That's the set that he has. Then he's got the long liners, the 0, the 5/0, the 10/0, the 20/0. So he has those. Now, if you guys remember, like in my sets, because he has long liner, there's the long liners and the mini liners. And so what did he do here? So there's a long liner set. It has 4. The long liners that I have put together on my website, I have all 5 of them. And maybe it's just because there's one that's not a popular size. And then he's got, this is actually a combo set too. There's a long liner, the 10, the mini liners, the 20 over 0 and the 0, and then 2 rounds that are the 10 over 0 and the 3 over 0. So these are the sets. I don't know if this is all of the sets. I just know that he sent me these, which I was super excited about. I'll have to go double check and see if there's other sets, but these are the 6 that that I'll be raffling off on November 1st for anyone who's purchased off the website. So there's that. Now I have to, I feel bad about not being able to comment on some of these. So that being said, with that, I was still working on this guy last night. And when I was working today, see if I can get this right in the camera. When I was working today and I was like, I couldn't wait. Oh, I'm putting my hands in black powder. And I want to thank everyone who reached out to me and said thank you for the advice on the shading. I'm glad it helped. Let me make sure I'm not making any comments here. So I got into thinking today when I was, so excited to come down here and work on my shading. But then I got kind of stuck doing some stuff around the house and things like that. And I carry my iPad around with me everywhere. When I do my FaceTime calls, I'm on my iPad. I have it with me everywhere. I have to almost leave it plugged in all the time because my battery's shot. I use it so much. But I'm going to ask everybody, and of course, this doesn't have to be during the live because a lot of people come back to it. It was a last minute thing. And I'd like to know what your favorite products are. I know that I mentioned, some of my favorite products, some of the must-haves I talked about. There's so many other must-haves that I have. Like, you guys don't even want to know all the ridiculousness I have in this craft room. But I want to know what your must-haves are. So I've only been painting for 3 years. Oh, here. I'm not showing you guys anything here right now. And I'm a hand talker, so then you guys see my hands down there. I've only been painting for 3 years. I think I've discussed some of the pains that I went through when I first started painting. I had 0 idea what dry brushing was. None. I couldn't figure out for the life of me, how do people get the detail in their pieces? I couldn't figure it out for the life of me. I'm thinking they've got a lot of patience and a steady hand. And then, as I kind of Googled stuff and I looked stuff up, I saw dry brushing techniques, which most of the ones that I saw like on YouTube and even in some of the groups were start off with black. You always start off with black. So I was like, okay. And in a lot of cases, that takes a lot of time. I'm not always very patient. That takes a lot of time. But when I found Elaine and I started taking her classes, she starts off with just a darker color wherever it's going to be. Like on this guy, just for example, I'm not trying to not get my hand in the powder. So like on this guy, I actually base coated him soft black. I actually like soft black a lot as opposed to black because soft black has a kind of a purple hue to it. I used it on the witch with the cauldron. But so I base coated his robe in soft black. I haven't dry brushed the lantern yet, like the wood part. Oh, I guess I did. I take it back. I did. But I started off with like a really dark, what color did I use? I kind of put them all away. Like a burnt umber here. And then I dry brushed my lighter color over it. On his face, let's see if we can get some better light actually on him. Oh, it's too bright. On his face, I think it was festive green was what I put down. But I knew that I didn't want his face to be like green. I knew that I wanted his face to have some yellows in it. I wanted it to have some lighter green and some yellow in it. And of course, the shading gets a little bit more severe. And I actually ended up shading with the ultramarine blue. Like I didn't shade with green on him. So I'll explain that. So when I learned the different techniques with her, and it actually took a little bit because it is a lot different doing it on a textured surface than it is doing it on a flat or smooth surface. The kind of brush that you use makes a big deal. I could never understand how she could get hers to look so good. And a lot of it is how you hold the brush and how you lay the paint down. And so I've learned a lot from her, but there's a lot I've learned just through trial and error. I've had a lot of error. I've repainted pieces. She wants to smack me on the hand every time I do that. I've repainted pieces. But I do know, like with him, he's not like crazy textured. His robe does have texture. I'm trying not to get my hands in the black, but I'm getting it all over. It has some texture on it, but it's not like super deep. So because I knew I wanted his robe to kind of be gray, but I didn't want it to be like black on gray. So I used the soft black, and then I did I don't remember what color it was, so don't ask me right now. I did dry brush some gray over it just because I wanted to see a little bit of that texture in there. I knew I was going to go back in and shade, but I knew that I wanted to see, like, it's like almost that crinkle material, that fancy crinkle material. And I wanted to be able to see that. Excuse me. So the types of brush and all that stuff, that took me a while to learn. And I actually bought all of the ones that she used to love to use. And she likes to use much bigger ones than I tend to be really comfortable with. I mean, let's see, what do I have here? I have this like really big one. It's the Simply Simmons. I think I've used it once. I really don't use it anymore because she said, the bigger brushes, it's so much easier. I hated using them. And I'm not a super big fan of the really long handle brushes because, like, she's always like, hold it back further. I just am not a fan of the really long brushes. So I never fell in love with these. And it was during one of her classes that somebody that we were really admiring her dry brushing. She's the one that told me about Zem. And that was when I started using Zem. And then that's why I started selling Zem. But, I sat there and I learned the difference between, when do I want the flat? When do I want the round? I actually prefer the filbert. The filbert's almost good for most situations. I mean, the flat will give you like a crisper, like highlight line if that's what you want. But not everyone needs to do that either, because if you're going to do a highlight line, then she showed us how to use the colored pencil, the white colored pencil. I have like 10 of them because using that white colored pencil, I don't know if I have 10 of them like right here next to me. I have so many things, but so she just showed us how to use that. It's here somewhere, guys. I have too many things anyway. And I've rearranged again, so it gets to be a problem. And this happened yesterday. If you guys are commenting, I'm sorry. The last comment I see is from Nancy saying hi. That happened yesterday when I was on my live. So I apologize if I'm not saying hi to you. It's because it's not showing up for me. You might need to comment on the Gammy's Happy Bees feed. You might need to go to that page and look at that feed, because I'm noticing on the personal page, like those comments aren't coming through. It's weird. I don't know what's happening. Anyway, so she taught a lot of different techniques. The colored pencil being another one. Then she also taught with the Monster Mash candle set, which is probably the set. I don't want to say I'm the most proud of that set, but that set I learned so many different techniques, because she showed us how to do the hair, to do the eyebrows and the hair. What's the colored pencil? It's a white, here we are. It's a Prismacolor white colored pencil. And actually this one's not even a Prismacolor. This is just it's a colored pencil. We like Prismacolor because it goes on really smooth. She actually taught that. I want to say when we did the bumblebees was when I really fell in love with that technique. We did the bumblebee with the hat. So in that one, she showed us not just the regular colored pencil, but she showed us how to use a chalk pencil, or like just a regular pencil, because when we were doing his It was doing a thing. I hope you guys can see me. Anyway, where was I? She loved it so much. I gave one to her. My grandson loved it, so I painted one for him. But since he is at my mom's house a lot, being babysat, I painted one for his house and her house. And then I really liked it, so I wanted to paint it for myself. That's the one that's not finished. But so the technique she taught us with that, I should probably grab something that I'm not going to be upset about ruining. What am I not going to be upset about ruining, guys? This isn't even. Don't knock things over. This I got from Michael's like forever. So you have to gesso these. These are get really complicated. So the technique she taught for the bee, I'm knocking things over. It's okay. We're fine. Everything's fine. So we're going to help if I turned on that other light. Okay. So she showed us like on his hat, right? She showed us how to take the pencil to like draw the little swerves. And I know you guys can't see that really great. Let me see if I can turn this other camera back on. So we could get stay consistent with how we wanted the little swerves on the hat to be. Let me do this really quick. I don't know if you guys can. Let me turn the light off on that. It's too bright. There's too many bright things. Let me see. I'm going to show it to you here. I don't know if you guys can see that line now. So she showed us how to do that. Oh, I made it blurry. And so that was really cool for that. But then on the honeycomb on his hat, when we had antiqued it, we'd done all this stuff, but to bring out, like to do the highlights, we were doing these white highlights like on the honeycomb. And if you guys want to go see what I'm talking about, go to, I know it's on my page, but go to Hope and Dimples, the Facebook page, and look for the honeybee gnome. I know that like the class announcement is still up there or something. So she really showed me how to love the colored pencils. But then when we did, or the white pencil, when we did the Monster Mash class, and she was explaining how to do on, and I don't have it out, sorry. But again, you can go to either pages. She had explained how, like, when we were doing the cape on the vampire, she showed us how to take this colored pencil, kind of draw, like, so it looked like a bow tie, right? Like, she showed us how to do that with the chalk pencil, and then we painted that in. It was the coolest thing. And it was, I never, when I started painting, did I ever think that I was going to do in-depth things like that, right? So these white pencils have become a must-have. These chalk pencils have become a must-have. I know that when she did I think it was the Bajorn bunny, she showed in the video kind of how to use the chalk pencils. So if you guys can go find that live, you'll see how she did that. So, I mean, these are must-haves for me. The pan pastels are must-haves too. I had bought stick pastels before I even knew what pan pastels were, because I saw somebody use it for shading, and it took so much to like scrape off there's a lot of binder in them, and so I had to like kind of scrape it off to get any on my brush. And it didn't. Now that I've used pan pastels, there's no way that I would ever try to use the chalk. I even took them and put them in a mortar and pestle. Don't laugh at me. But I put them in that, and I ground them up to try and make them a powder. But there's so much binder in them, they're not super fine. So it did make a dust, and I guess it made it a little bit easier, but they were still much bigger chunks. It's not as fine as I needed, so I stopped messing with that. So my pan pastels are definitely must-haves. What else? The high flow acrylics. Like I showed you guys that yesterday. It's a must-have. But I'm curious, out of all of however many years you've been painting, whether it's been a year, 6 months, 10 years, your whole life, what are your must-haves for painting? And keep in mind, like, I don't have a kiln. I don't have any places close to me that have kilns, so I don't use glazes. I have some customers that do. Kim had posted Unicorn Spit Artistic Vibrations for Antiquing. Now I have to go look that up, Rufus. I need to know what Unicorn Spit is. Now I need to know, because that even just sounds like fun. But so I don't use glazes, but Kim had posted, she had been requesting for me for a long time some Aztec stickers, glitter paint. I have to have glitter paint too. Same, the ultra fine stuff. But I've even found I like to get my own ultra fine glitter. You guys know on the 4th of July gnome, I actually got my own ultra fine glitter and I loved it. So but I have a ton of glitter paint. And the illusions, the color shift, that's now become a must-have. I love the color shift. But what else? I want to know what else. I need to know because I have so many things around me. Like here's another must-have for me. I don't know. Don't laugh at me. And I have different variations of them. They're these little, well, this one isn't a little one. I have smaller ones, but they're all upstairs. Hold on. They're voicemail. My husband's trying to call me. He's trying to call me. Like, I'm on a live, babe. Sorry. I got to text him and let him know. I should have put it on Do Not Disturb. So I have these little things, and these are bottle scrapers, like for small bottles, like makeup or like sauces or something. And so I actually use these because I have a tendency of putting too much paint in my little wells. And then I don't like to waste a lot of paint. I mean, I'll waste a little bit of paint, but I don't like wasting a lot of paint. So I like to like take it and scrape it and put it back in the bottle. And I'm weird that way. So these are also must-haves for me. Where did I get them? I probably got some off of Temu. I know I got some off Amazon. I mean, some of them have like these little spoon things that I'm even. Oh, I love it. Oh no. My husband's like, I need some help. Sorry. I might have to take this call because he says he needs help. So I'm not really sure. If he locked his keys in the car again, we're going to have a problem because he did that before and I about lost my mind. Sorry, let me get back onto, I don't need to show this anymore. So these were must-haves for me. I need to know. Oh. Use it on plain bisque or things you've base coated. I'm going to have to, now I have to go look it up. Okay. Sorry. Now he's got, I hate it when he's like, I need help. Okay. Anyway, so I want to know what other must-haves you guys have because I have all these little bottles. I have all these different brushes that I used to use that I don't use a lot anymore, but I haven't gotten rid of all of them. I think it's a psychological thing. Craft paper, another must-have. A lot of times that's how I'll like practice my lines. Here's another must-have. I'm gonna have to lift it up. So you guys see, hold on, let me share this again. This is shelf liner. Like this is that kind of foamy shelf liner. Melane's the one that turned me on to that too, because when you go in shade, a lot of the powder will fall. And the nice thing about the shelf liner is like a lot of it will kind of fall in through there. So you're not like constantly putting your piece in active powder. So that's another kind of must have for me. Alcohol. So I've taken one of those Dawn Power Wash Wetcha-Jiggies and I've sprayed it with alcohol. Like it has alcohol in it because a lot of times when I'm working on a piece, or like I need to clean something off, I'll use alcohol. I use it for my sublimation projects a lot too, because you need to clean something before you do sublimation. So there's that. I'm trying to think what else, but I'm curious as to what your must-haves are, because some of my must-haves are like obscure things. Like, let's see, what do I have? I have my little, don't make fun of me, of these. Don't ask me why. They're little eyelash, like, to put mascara on. They're just throwaway ones. A lot of times I like to use those. Like if you have some of that compacted bisque, like my spray, my airbrush sprayer, if it's really compacted in those crevices, I can't get it. You can use a stiff brush too, but I love to use these. So these are must-haves for me. Let me see what else. The sanding sticks. I know Cottage Cupboard was doing kind of showing the sanding sticks. Let me show you guys. I have my towels and my stuff. But it's not just the sanding sticks, because when I first got started, I'd gotten so much bisque that I had to clean, because I didn't know the great places to get it. I ended up investing in a ton of sanding materials. So I have this whole thing of like the different grits. I have fallen in love with these ones because they have like the little point on them. I know Cottage Cupboard carries those. I have sanding sponges, a couple different kinds. I used to do my own nails all the time, like my own acrylics. And so I have a lot of these nail buffers. I'll use these on bisque. I mean, it's a lot of stuff. I don't have to use it as much anymore. I'll use it more for wood. But these were all things that were must-haves for me when I started. So you can imagine my husband's horror as I'm getting into the ceramics. So not only am I buying a massive amount of bisque, but I'm buying all this paint. I'm buying all these different rags, all these different brushes. I'm buying so much stuff, and it's just like, and it was all at once. It was all at once. So yeah, I'm very curious as to what your must-haves are. I have another couple that, like for this piece, he has the hole in the back for the light. But I had some pieces that didn't have that hole in the back, and they didn't sit on a base, but they had cutouts. So I've bought different variations of like the fairy lights that go on wine bottles. I have some of those little round circular ones, the little blink lights. Little round circles. You just pull the tab out and they kind of go, and there's an on off button, but they don't last forever, but you get a big pack of them, and they work for, they work long enough, right? So those had been must-haves for a while. What else? I still need to know more must-haves for you guys. So some of these, sorry, I bought these in bulk, like they're little wire clippers, but I found that like sometimes you have a bottle and like the paint's kind of dried on there. I kind of clip my paint off there. These little brushes, must-haves for me. So I'm curious. I want to know what your must-haves are, because I need to know if there's anything else I must have. Yes, I do. Okay. So baby wipes now were our new must-have. And my airbrush. I've never once used it to actually airbrush a single thing. But I use this thing. Never had paint in it. I've never tried to I've never tried to do anything. This is just full of dust. I dust my pieces off with this. My eyes have way too many layers of paint. And so when I need to dry them, I sit here and I dry my eyes. If I need to dry something faster, because, you know, you have enough coats of paint on something, like it takes a minute. So this is a must-have for me. And then my Dremel. Oh no, we got to talk magnifiers. These are a must-have. Aren't they cute? They're a must-have. Amazon. I think I've shared the link a million times. They have like different strengths of these things that pop out. You just charge it with a little thing. And then, you know, and then I do vinyl and stuff like that too. So I have like a lot of like the weeding tools and stuff that are must-haves, but a good pencil sharpener for the The pencils is another must-have. I'm new. Don't, Sandra. I'm telling you it's a must-have. Just because I say it's a must-have doesn't make it so. To me, they're must-haves. But I have a problem. I'm trying to address it a little bit. I need to have all of the things syndrome. So I'm working on it. Baby wipes, turntable. I have a turntable too. I do. The paints that usually it's the paints that I'm working on, like working with, I put on the turntable. But do you guys ever notice? So, I have all those paint caddies. They used to be off to the side of me. Then they were all stretched out in the front of me. But now I have to make room down here on my daughter-in-law's side. Because when I built this whole big 12-foot craft space, it's like 12 by 4 feet or 5 feet or something. I'm thinking this is going to be more than enough room. It's not. And when my husband got me the laser, right now it's upstairs on the dining room table. And it can't stay upstairs on the dining room table. So I have to make room for it down here. But you guys know I have the paint caddies, which is a far better solution than all of the bins. I had them in shoe bins. I had the little rolly rack next to me that I'd had them in. I had a shelf behind me that they were on. And I love that I can see the colors and all that stuff. But now I'm sitting here like, what? I need it. Because my brother-in-law saw the paint caddies I bought, and then he built me a bunch. And so now I was like, so I need you to figure out how to build me a base with like heavy duty wheels so I can put them on and like screw them down. So I have this like portable paint tower. Because I'm running out of room on my 12 by 5 foot space. It's fine. Let me see what else. Let me tell you what else you must have. Hold on. What else do we got here? Oh, like the little gems and stuff. And guys, I bought so much of it, the little special glitter and the little gems. If you guys are into putting like the gems on your pieces, the little bit of bling, like I did with the 4th of July gnome, I have these they're wax. And I want to say Dawn was using one the other day when she was talking about, she's going to put gems on her flowers. It's just like this little wax crayon that makes it easier for you to pick up the gems. Because I used to do the needle nose tweezers, and like you're trying to put glue on it and you're holding it in this, and then it would flip off, and now you just got glue on it and it's sticking someplace and you don't know where it's at. So I really love that wax candle. And when I do another, because usually what I'll do with the stencil sets, when I have like this piece I've done and conceptualized, if I've used glitter on it, it's like the stencils, the glitter, the little crayon, like all that fun stuff. So usually that's when I get that stuff out and put it together. So it's not always up on the website. I don't sell them like in individual packs. Maybe I should, but I don't. But eventually they're up there. What else? Hi, Wendy. So I'm trying to think. Wendy, what are your must-haves? We're trying to figure out. I was kind of sharing my must-haves. I had talked about, you'll have to go back and watch the Zem announcement. But what are your must-haves? I want to know. I'm trying to think of what else are my must-haves. I have so many of them. I lose track of them. So like I said, craft paper, microfiber towels. You see I'm looking all over, right? The spongy shelf liner if you do the pastels and stuff. Plus it's spongy, so it helps like if you have a hard surface. I can't tell how many times I actually chipped. Was it this piece? No, it was my Frankenstein, I think. Yeah, it was my Frankenstein. I chipped him when I was sitting there, kind of painting him, and I kept flipping him over, and he hit the very corner of my craft table, and like this little chip came out. It was already painted, so I had to paint over it and I had to fix it. I have some specialty paint and stuff, but that's not necessarily must have. Some gesso, some of the really fine gesso. Especially if you buy the pieces that are from Wendy's like, definitely, yes. I love my Zem. Timu, Marianne, 100%. Must have it all, Michaels. Joann's, Blick, Amazon, Timu. Yep. They are. Yeah, I get so much stuff off of Temu. Like I'm making the like the little keychains and stuff that were gonna be a kind of gift with purchase for this month, but I didn't have them done in time, so I guess it'll have to be next month. But yeah, I buy a lot of like my beads and stuff. Sorry, I keep messing with my hair. It's down. I can't wear it up right now because my head's hurt. Money from our bisque. That is always a must-have. 100%. Let me see. So Temu is another one. Let's see, what else do I have? I got a lot of my embellishments off Temu before, like because Kara like pours some of her resin ones and stuff, but I got a lot of mine off Temu. The gesso. So yeah, like so like this kind of piece here, I got this from Michael's, and this isn't bisque, it's that earthenware stuff. So paint doesn't stick to this as well as you would want it to. This, you need to do the tags, like that just peeled right off. So when Melaine did the skull last year that she showed the skull she did, I went and bought a bunch of them because at the time it was like the buy one get 3 free or something. It was weird. So I bought a bunch, but because it's more of that earthenware, we gessoed it. And that helped a lot. That helps for the paint to stay, but you have to let it sit. You can't just gesso it and then go to paint it. You have to let it sit. So that was another must-have. What other must-haves do we have? Let's see. What is anyone else saying? Nancy, definitely. If you're new at this, so you're learning, a lot of great resources. We have a lot of great people in the groups. Melane's group, and I always hate calling it Melane's group because it's really our group. Friends of Hope and Dimple Studio. If you don't belong to it, join it. It's a great group for resources from not just Melaine or myself, but the group, the whole group. Everyone is super helpful, super encouraging. Please don't be afraid to share what you've painted, even if you don't think it's good enough. None of us think our stuff's good enough. So share your stuff. Hope and Dimple Studio, she has a lot of stuff. So Melane's actual business page. I'll say my Gammy's Happy Bees page, but in truth, I share more. Like I'm just starting to share more on that page. I share everything to the friends group. The ceramic bisque rants and raves. If you aren't a part of it, don't let the name of it scare you. There's been a lot of heat and a lot of kind of flack when we first started that group. I had actually told Melaine, I was the one that suggested it to her. It's been just over a year. Because we were talking about when we were working with you do learn a lot. Great, Nancy. When we were talking about like Dimple Fest, the plans for Dimple Fest from June, and the pieces and having our recommended sellers list and stuff like that, I said, there needs to be a place you can go where you can give an honest review if you got something bad, because in some of the groups, and when we talk honest review, we're not talking about bashing people. We're not talking about, let's go, be a bully in any kind of way. It was just more of a place where you could go say, hey, do you know someone who has this, and see a good review, or if it's a buyer beware situation, because I bought a lot of stuff that was awful, or it came broken and there was never a resolution, and it was a lot of money wasted. None of us have that money to waste. So I said, we need to start this group, and there's some people that still aren't happy that we have it. We have rules in place. If you're going to do a rant, you need to have pictures. I'm not saying that, we catch every single thing. I mean, I work full time and she's busy with her stuff, so sometimes we don't always catch it, but then you guys report it, we go look at it, and we do the thing. Ceramic bisque rants and raves. So that group is just about a year old. It's a really great resource and we want all the shops on it too. Like we want you there to get the good reviews, but really what it was about was like, be there to get, like, to see what people are saying, like if they had a bad experience, so you can learn how to make it right. You can learn how to make it better. Right. And Melaine has spent time on phone with shops and with people and trying to say, no, that's not really, if you have a business, it's your choice. You can do whatever you want. But we just wanted a place like every town, every city, like there's a Plainfield Rants and Raves for like where I live. So we just wanted a place like that for ceramics. So that's another good resource. There's a lot of really great groups out there. So definitely reach out. I'm looking here. Reach out, ask questions. You can message personally, ask questions. Anyone in the group, you can ask questions. Don't be ashamed to do that. A lot of recommendations. Of course, I'm always talking about Zem brushes now, and then I post about my stencils and stuff like that. But you see a lot of the stuff. I don't sell these. I don't sell magnifying glasses. Like, I'm not just trying to sell you stuff. I mean, this was really a long time and a lot of money spent. As my very overly crowded house and my very patient husband would let you know, it's been a lot of resources and some expensive lessons learned. But then it's also been a lot of great resources and a lot of great friends made and a lot of amazing resources. So there's been all that. I'm just trying to share with you guys what I've learned. So I want to know more of what I live in Plainfield, Illinois, Nancy. Plainfield, Illinois. Little tiny place, but it's just about 45 minutes south of Chicago. So that's where I am. So share your rants. So share your must-haves. Don't be afraid to share techniques. Please share. And so now I'm curious because I want to know how many of you are like me. Right now, it's not listening to murder podcasts. I go through these weird phases. Right now, what's usually on while I'm painting or is like background when I'm working, when I'm not on a meeting. Right now, it's Game of Thrones, which I will admit when I'm down here painting and my husband and adult children are on the game, there's some scenes that, because I'm not watching it, it's just on. And there's some scenes where I'm like, yeah, I'll fast forward through that because no mom wants to sit there and hear some of those scenes with, their kids in the room. But a lot of it's murder, like podcasts or TV shows. Like when I say murder, I just mean true crime stuff. I'm addicted to that. Obsessed. What else? And a lot of it is like, or it's like a TV series, and it's usually stuff that I've already watched. I don't like to put stuff on that I haven't seen because then I'm going to get distracted and I'm going to want to watch it. So usually it's something that I've watched. Like I think I've watched listened to Designated Survivor 3 times. Madam Secretary probably 4 times. I need to go rewatch Yellowstone or re-listen to Yellowstone again because that new season's coming out. But like, so what do you guys do when you're painting? And how many, I'm curious because I need to know how many unfinished projects do you have? I'm asking for a friend. So asking for a friend, how many unfinished ceramics projects do you have? Because I have 2 shelves worth of them. Because I get in this zone where I get ready to, like, I paint it, I dry brush it, I go to shade it, and it really is such an important part to me. Like I can't even imagine not doing it. And I know like with the fashion hues, I'm like, well, once I figure out how not to add too much blending media so it won't dry, I'll let him know. I'm sure he'll be so appreciative of that. Oh, the poor man. I'm lucky he hasn't divorced me. Anyway, so I love the shading part, but like as I explained to you guys last night, it has not way too many. Yeah, thank you. Only 2, Tammy. I'm gonna say you're a slacker. That's how I'm gonna say it. Base coating is like a zen thing for me. Like, and I'm a meticulous. I don't like doing messy base coating. Melane's always like, you can fix it with pastels. It's not how I paint, right? So I still want to do clean lines. I still want to do all that, but that's kind of where like the meditation part comes in for me. And then when I do the dry brushing, I get excited because like you start to see the depth and the texture and like the possibilities. And the shading is the part I'm most excited about. But because it hasn't, at least, I mean, recently has gotten much easier because I learned how to hold my stupid brush. Whatever. Whatever, Tammy. I've got 5 things I'm trying to paint at a time. No, you're much better than me. But I have so many things not finished, and they're only just not shaded. Again, because I would struggle so much with the blending, and I was holding my brush too heavy-handed, so it was not going. You watch Melaine do it, and it's like this little magic wand. It's almost like when you watch like those deep fakes, or not a deep fake, but those games where you're like, you can erase, like the beauty game, you can erase this thing. Like it, that's what it almost looks like when she's doing it, because like it goes on so smooth and you can see it and you can watch it blend and you can see what it's doing. It's like magic. That is not how it works for me. I mean, I can see it going on, but like I still get powder everywhere. So as I've learned how to do the much lighter touch, and she kept saying it's a light touch, she was not really specific with what are we talking about with light touch here. So when we're talking light touch, we're talking about you're almost not even touching the piece kind of light touch. It's a very feather light touch. And that's when it starts to blend right. So now I have a lot of projects that I have to shade. I still have the Halloween llamas from last year. Oh, here's something. Let me show you guys, because when you guys were asking about the colored pencils, hold on. Then I stop. Yeah, I know. Me too, Jackie. I do the same thing. So, but let me show you this, because the person that was on, hold on. Hold on. I got to show you guys these. So here's where we start talking about colored pencils and shading again. Okay. So this isn't just colored pencil, and it's not just one colored pencil. This is where having the different colors of colored pencil comes in handy. Now I'm going to try and reshare this camera. This one is not even close to being finished. This one actually, I have a lot of work to do on that one, but I want to explain to you. I'm actually kind of sad now realizing how much work I have left on that. But so this piano, let me move little Mister out of the way. This was the first. No, it wasn't the first. What was the first wood grain we did? It was the gnomes. It was the Camping with My Gnomies. That was the first wood grain that we ever did. Then we did the Dancing Santas. And when she talked about she wanted to wood grain, I have to make sure. Yeah, I've sprayed this. When she talked about wanting to wood grain the piano, I was like, you're kidding. But like, sorry, this is just so hard to figure out how this camera is. So we wood grained this with colored pencil. A really great video to go watch, because the first time I saw her do it, she was doing the church. If you guys go find her video of the church that she did, which she broke, by the way, like when she was shading it, she was doing it, she hit it and it broke, and like people suggested put snow, because she put it back together, but then there was a crack and they suggested putting snow on it. That was the first time I saw her do wood grain with colored pencil. And then the second piece I saw her do that in was her Thanksgiving set. And I know she has videos out there on them. So cool. I didn't think I'd ever be able to do it, but we did do it. And so like she shows the techniques. Let's see if I can get it up close. And that's colored pencil. And then we'll go in and shade. Like if you look at the back, we'll take some pastels and we'll go in and shade. We'll shade in the knots and all that stuff. So like, super proud of this kind of thing, because I would have never thought to do that kind of thing on a ceramic piece. This one, I think I had just started. Yeah, I just started to shade it. So like this is where I started to shade it, and I haven't gotten to any more of it. But this was the Dancing Bunnies set. So, you know, sometimes it just looks like a bunch of squiggly weird lines, but once you shade it and once you do all that stuff, it's amazing. So that's why I removed the wrong video and then the sound went away. So when we're talking about the white colored pencil, like that's where, like to create those highlight marks, that's from the white colored pencil. So just to point that out. But yeah, so I have to finish. I know I still have to finish highlights on the Dancing Santa one, but I still have to finish shading on this. So I probably have 20 or so, like not just pieces, but like the Dancing Santas, it's a huge set. The Dancing Bunnies is a huge set. Like I have like 20 projects that aren't finished because sometimes I just need to base coat something. Every time I said that to her, she was just like, she's like, that would drive me nuts if I didn't have that finished. And I'm like, but sometimes I just need to not have to think about it. And I just need to base coat something. That's just me. But I want to know what you guys do. That's what I want to know. I want to know what you guys do. If you're like me. Let me see. So yeah, so let me know. Do you watch murder? Do you listen to TV? Do you listen to podcasts? Is it more music? Do you listen to your kids play video games? Because that's sometimes a thing too. I'm curious. And I'm curious what your must-haves are. And I'm curious as to how many unfinished projects you have. I should probably just put a survey up there. So share that with me. It doesn't have to be now. It can be later. I'll go ahead because I'm sure I have to call my husband back. I'm having a feeling. He said he'd figure it out. Now I'm getting nervous. So just remember, any purchases on the website, whether it be for brushes, stencils, brush cleaners, the scrubbies, the weeding pen, like whatever it is, any purchase on the website from October 1st, so it started October 1st, I just didn't know it, through the 31st, you're going to get your name in. And if you've gone on the website, I've had a couple of people who go on, they purchase something, then 2 weeks later they go on and purchase something else. So of course it'll be in twice. But so there's the 6 new Zem Brush Black Swirl. They finally put sets together. They're not 100% exactly like my sets, but they're nice to have. It's like nice to maybe try them out, especially I would think this kind of mixed set that has like a round and a flat and a wash. So far. Nice, Marianne. Sweet. 2. Well, that's okay. Two's not bad. You're not bad there. I just, now that I've got the shading part down, I just need to stop and say, just you spend your life shading. But now the problem I'm going to have, like the Dancing Santas is a Christmas set, but it's not a new Christmas set. I need to finish that for sure. But I have a bunch of Christmas pieces I'm going to want to start painting. But I have all these Halloween pieces that I need to finish. And I thought I'd have them finished by Halloween, and that's not happening. So now I'm kind of in the mood to want to start painting Christmas. And I know I will, but I just don't know if I can justify it. So anyway. So don't forget, now I am going to I'll get these as soon as I find out what the prices are. I'll get those sets posted on the website. They're slightly different from my Black Swirl sets. I'd put sets together because they didn't have them. And that's what's in the master brush set is the Black Swirls and the hog bristle brushes. I am getting the student one. I know I keep saying it, but by this weekend, I'll have the student brush set up. And then I'm going to have a fashion hue set that I've put together. Yep. So that's why the 2 that you got from Michael's, they're not ceramic. They're earthenware. 90% chance it's earthenware. It's like, it's not really the porous ceramic. Like it kind of feels like it, but you'll notice it like down on the bottom, and you'll notice it like the cutouts are not very distinct. Like, so this is earthenware. So go ahead and give it a shot. The ones from Michael's. Now, if you've already started, like, don't worry about trying to finish, but go ahead and finish it the way that you want. But if you do put gesso on them first and let the gesso completely dry, like give it a good 24 hours, let it really dry, then your acrylic will go on much easier. So that's a tip. Yeah, that's a tip for today. Gesso, ultra fine. Try and do the clear. but I like the clear because then it doesn't change the color of the bisque if you don't want it to. Okay, so yes, the Fashion Hue set will be put together and up. Yes, the student set will be put together and up. And you have 15 days that if you want to make a purchase to get a chance to win one of these new sets, then go ahead and do that. I'm going to go find out if my husband's alive, if he's stranded, if he locked his keys in the car, or what. I hope you guys have a good night. I'm also going to go shade. Now I'm going to go put these guys back because it's making me want to stop what I'm doing to finish them, but I'm not going to do that. And if you guys have any questions, reach out. You can reach out on Facebook. You can message me directly. You can go to Gamers Happy Bees and message me through there. You can do all those fun things. And I'm always happy to get on a video call when I'm not at work if you guys have questions about stuff. Thanks so much for joining me tonight, guys. Share your must-haves. I want to know what they are. Share your must-haves. Share all of the crazy things. All right. Have a great one, guys.